Hey everybody and welcome. This is going to be my second attempt at recording this because for some reason my USB camera mic on the other end of the room was set to record instead of my Yeti. I hate technology so much. But if you haven't seen my community post, I am still alive. I'm just working on a lot of content to have a more steady release schedule going forward. And it just so happens that there hasn't been any little news stories that caught my eye enough to make a short video about in the meantime. But I am still here. I am still making content. I'm just preparing for the new year. Now, for everybody who subscribed this year, thank you guys so much. This has been so fun and rewarding, and you all mean the world to me. And I hope you guys realize that. You know, every click of that like button, every click of that subscribe button, it's hard to realize, but it can change somebody's life. It really can. And the fact that anybody will make those clicks for me still just kind of blows my mind a little bit. I'm going to try not to get too mushy. I just want to say, for everybody who has joined me on this digital journey so far, thank you. Now, I just finished watching the 5th episode of Hawkeye, and it was The show overall, it benefits greatly from the acting of Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld. Those two are the heart of the show, and they are the best aspect of the show. With lesser actors, this would not have been as enjoyable as it was to watch. And keep in mind, the mediocrity that I'm going to be getting to has nothing to do with them at all. They both elevate the material tremendously. This first season, or this series, depending on whether or not there's going to be another season, is worth the watch purely for their performances and their father-daughter kind of relationship that forms as the season goes on, and the mutual respect that they gain for each other. That's the most fun to watch. Everything else, unfortunately, not so much. The plot that kicks off with the Ronin costume is so stupid and is so dull and just uninteresting in a way I can't properly describe. And the contrivance of it. The fact that Kate happens across it, the suit, happens to have great meaning to the man that she's idolized her entire life, basically. The fact that it fits her, even though Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld don't have similar builds at all. It's really lazy writing. It's like a first draft idea that should not have survived past that first draft. And unfortunately, things don't really get any better from there. The little story involving the watch doesn't have a satisfying conclusion to it either. Spoilers, by the way. Just spoilers for the whole thing. Yeah, okay, so Clint's wife was Agent 19, aka Mockingbird. That's cool, I guess. It's neat. Didn't really need to know that. She was a pretty awesome wife before we knew that. And she's played by freaking Linda Cardellini, so it's really all we needed to know already. But hey, it's cool. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is definitely not canon. I feel like they've been trying to stress that point recently. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is very much not canon. It is what it is. But the show absolutely wasted the opportunity to address Clint's time as Ronin. It addressed it in such a poor way, and I kind of feel like this was the only shot at doing it, because doing anything about it going forward is just going to seem like a retread, and they just didn't give it the proper weight that it needed, because he went hyper-violent vigilante. He went like Marvel Knights vigilante for a while, out of grief and anger, and the only time it has any real weight is when you have Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye talking about it. That's the only time there's any real gravitas behind what they're trying to say about his time as Ronin. Other than that, the very brief flashbacks we see of Ronin are so tame that it's like, yeah, okay, he's a vigilante. He killed some criminals. Oh well. I don't know. If the point is to make it seem like he stepped too far over the line, that it scarred his soul, they failed miserably at that. And the only kind of patch that even comes close to working is Jeremy Renner's performance. But everything with the character of Maya, I'm sorry, it just fell flat on its face. I don't feel any sympathy for her crime boss father. Okay, he was a good dad, but he was also a crime boss. He was the leader of the tracksuit mafia and did really shitty things. I don't feel bad that he died. He kinda got what was coming to him. And that weak-ass character, Kazi, in this episode even told Maya, this was supposed to be my life. It wasn't supposed to be yours. She chose to end up taking her father's place out of anger, grief, whatever. I feel like they wasted an opportunity to kind of compare her to Ronin. That's what they were trying to do, but they lacked the actual talent to see that through. Because, the character, Maya, aka Echo, was also Ronin for a time in the comics. So there could have been a really cool connection there that they could have done. And they just didn't have the talent or the awareness of what needed to be done for it to work. Instead, you just present a character that I don't feel bad for, that I kind of dislike, and I have no interest in following, and the fact that she's getting her own show, apparently, kind of blows my mind. You didn't even pick a strong actress for it. And what I mean by that is, when you give us a character who's deaf, and the performance is going to be all about the facial expressions, you need somebody who has a wide range of facial expressions, as opposed to just resting bitch face. Which, whether or not that's how the actress looks in real life, that's neither here nor there. I don't really care. It's just the character of Maya. That's all I got from her. Was just, that just really one note, angry, resting bitch face. It was a very weak performance. It did nothing to help the character. And her whole storyline, including the culmination with Kingpin, and her potentially being the one to take him out. I'm sorry, she did not earn that at all. Didn't even come close to earning that right. If he's actually dead. He might not be because of the comics, blah blah. I know. I feel like they mainly left Kingpin where they left him in this episode because they want to use him in the future, but they're not sure yet how they're going to, or they're not sure if they can get Vincent D'Onofrio consistently. So they're like, you know what, we're just going to kind of put him on ice a little bit. We're going to give you a tease and we're going to put him back on ice until we can use him again. And when it comes to Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, yeah, it's cool to see him again. It's very much not the same Kingpin. Whether or not it is officially a variant, or if it is the same Kingpin we know from the Netflix Daredevil show, I guess it remains to be seen for sure. But the fact that he just has his insane strength from the comics, his insane durability from the comics, I think it's fairly safe to say this is a different iteration. He wasn't written with the same kind of nuance as Netflix Kingpin, but he wasn't bad by any means. It was okay. It was kind of neat to see him go full comic book, even for just one scene. But again, he just ends up feeling like a wasted asset. Like he deserved a bigger, better MCU debut moment, and this was not it. But he at least got to beat the crap out of Kate. A lot of people are saying it's bullshit that she quote-unquote went toe-to-toe with him. She didn't go toe-to-toe with him. She got her ass kicked the entire time, got tossed around like a rag doll. She did a couple of cool moves on him, but that's it. It's only by virtue of bad writing that Kingpin didn't just decide to put her down, kill her, because he very much had the chance. He just didn't. That's what you should be mad about, I guess, if anything. But, kind of the fight scenes in general were just pretty garbage throughout this season. Nothing was really exciting. There were a couple of cool moments in this last episode, but every fight scene in this show unravels the second you think about, oh, what if all these gang members had guns the way they would actually have guns, and if they used them the way they actually should be using them, referring to the ones who did have guns in this show. I'm so tired of the whole, I have a gun, but I'm going to run within arm's reach of the hero. I'm so tired of that. I feel like ever since Dark Knight Rises, every superhero thing has done that more and more and more and more, and I'm just sick and tired of it. It's not cool. It looks stupid. It's lazy when it comes to writing. It's lazy when it comes to choreography. It's just, it's stupid. Hollywood. Stop doing it. Y'all look incompetent every time you do it. Come up with better fight scenes that incorporate guns realistically. Or just hang up your writing hat because you suck. The fight with Kate and Yelena was kind of fun, mostly because of the characters. But the character of Yelena in general is just so botched at this point. Yeah, she's hilarious and very likable. And the point is that she shouldn't be. A person commented on my last Hawkeye video and said that Yelena should be completely broken and traumatized and antisocial after everything she's been through. And it's not even just the Black Widow program. She went through that, got freed, went through the events of the Black Widow movie, and then immediately afterward lost her sister, this time for good. She should be emotionally wrecked. But instead, she's just happy-go-lucky. Oh, Kate Bishop, me and you, we so funny, we friends. Ooh, I'm a funny Russian. Just stop. I didn't comment on this character much in my last video, and that's because I don't know what they're going for with her. and what her story is going to be. And where they leave off with her now in Hawkeye, it's not really believable to me that she would end up on a team like the Thunderbolts or anything like that. I don't know. Like, if you were going to write Yelena Belova to be this hilarious, likable character, you shouldn't have given her the backstory that you gave her. You know, her very first appearance in Black Widow was botched, and unfortunately it's just going to keep following through her every appearance going forward. And she's just going to keep being this goofy, funny, but really effective fighter, I guess. And I don't know. But this show overall it's mediocre, but it's inoffensive. It's worth watching for Jeremy Renner and for Haley Steinfeld. And you know, Clint Barton as a character gets treated with more respect than I expected, honestly. In the Phase 4, our established Marvel characters are just being character assassinated nonstop. And it's just kind of nice to see Hawkeye make it through unscathed. He kind of, you know, he comes out okay in the end. He gets to go back to his family and have his Christmas. And it's kind of refreshing. Not enough for me to say the show is actually good. It's watchable. The biggest downfall is that you can tell it had the actual plot of a 90-minute movie that just got stretched out and padded with all this LARPer nonsense. All the LARPers. Oh man, everything involving them was so stupid. And they just all feel like horrible self-inserts. As if some writer on the show was a LARPer and just, come hell or high water, was gonna insert LARPing into this thing no matter what. And they got their wish, and man, the part in this final episode where the LARPers suited up in their foam cosplay armor to help out Hawkeye and Hawkeye was one of the most cringe-inducing things I've seen, and that is an accomplishment, let me tell you. I get a headache just thinking about it. It's so stupid. It shouldn't have happened. But aside from that kind of nonsense, you know, at the very least, characters that should have got punished. You know, Kate's mom went to prison. She didn't get off scot-free just because she decided she wanted to be a good mom. And come to think of it, the swordsman, her fiance. How stupid is it that he just carries a sword on him at the party in this last episode? Specifically so he can just jump in and fight against the tracksuit mafia with his sword. I don't know. That's a whole nother thing. This show's getting worse the more I think about it. Anyway, it's worth watching. It's not garbage. It's fun because of the two lead characters. Just don't go in expecting it to be good or great. It's just kind of disposable entertainment to watch when you have nothing else. But that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching. I hope somebody enjoyed this. I don't know. But have a Merry Christmas, y'all, and a Happy Festivus for the rest of us. Happy holidays. I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.